once I was told that I'm going to be the moderator for this, I started doing some reading up to understand what is all this about. And then I was understanding that the real world impact on security. And then I found out that Perplexity releases around 5 to 10 major upgrades in a year. ChatGPT 5, Gemini AI 6 to 10, Copilot 6 to 10. So why I'm telling that is that things are moving very, very fast. But in between all of this, in India somewhere, I saw a chaiwala called the ChatGPT chaiwala. So that's also happening. So in between all of this, we are trying to understand where we fit in, where security fits in. Other day I saw one video wherein there was this person opening the car door. The car door was being opened by the movement of the hand. And the guy does this and the door opens. Is that useful? Is that something cutting edge? Will it help us? Okay, if the person is physically challenged, maybe, but otherwise. So today we got a rather eclectic mix of panelists. We got professionals from Durac, Schneider Electric, Kyndryl, and Urban Company. So I would like to start off the discussions by requesting Srinivas, what is your thing on how do you think AI has impacted organizations and security in general? Your thoughts?
Thanks, Val. Security as such cannot be avoided. The solutions, the guardrails, the coverage of the entire investment has to be protected. But the main point that comes is how we are going to use the AI. The idea of understanding of the AI is basically a problem. You have no particular knowledge of understanding the AI, but you try to come up with some kind of a requirement that allow the companies to come and present it to you, but you have designed and defined what they are supposed to tell you. You are not putting together a requirement. 90% of the time we have seen that. So the impact of the AI comes only if you allow and adapt the technology as such it is openly available. It's not the way that you define what it has to do, right? So it's a debate. You say that in my organization I have a lot of knowledge in AI and we develop and design our own solutions, then you are building a capability within yourself. You need to have a capability center. There's nothing wrong in it. You can build your own AI capable applications within your system. But if you start asking the solution providers to build a specific thing, an already predetermined thought process, then you will have a problem. So the AI impact is very good. AI impact is very high, and the productivity with the proper usage of AI is already showing results. Like you mentioned, there is a lot of opportunity in terms of putting together guardrails and also putting together applications. But all in all, the AI impact is perfectly working in the productive systems. The long-term cost advantage versus the short-term implementation is towards the positive side.
Thank you. So you know what, so normally I start off my talk and all that with telling a joke. But then because I'm getting already glucose depleted, so I forgot to tell the joke, so I'm going to tell you now. So there's this brand called Odomos. All Indian people will be knowing it, yeah. Odomos. So there's this ad which was shown, a very nice ad, in which there's this, again, all of us are Indians, there was this person who had come from abroad and he was in a camp, and in that tent there were lots of mosquitoes, and the guy was slapping all the mosquitoes away. And then he calls the guide and says that, how can I chase this mosquitoes away? He says, so we got this this magic word. You just keep telling, Odomos, Odomos, and he goes and lights a mosquito coil and all the mosquitoes go away. So is that something AI is all about? If you don't know what you want, how can you get what you require? So I would like to move on next to Urban Company, which has leveraged technology and they're spread across the country, and for everything and anything, we look towards urban companies, people to reach out to us. Over to you.
Yeah, so first things first, so the way we've been engaging with AI is less of like a buzzword and fashionable interaction and more of, boots on ground. Like AI is obviously very nice to have on investor decks and in your presentations, but the reality is that unless you use it in real operations, you never see the benefit. And at Urban Company, we have, because we are a very ops-heavy organization, we have upward of 60,000 partners delivering upward of 150,000 jobs a day. Very, very, heavy ops dynamics. So we have been using AI to solve some real world problems and not looking at AI to reduce cost. AI will definitely reduce cost at scale, but so far it's an add-on cost to us. So the driver is not cost reduction. The driver is operational efficiency. I'll just give a few examples on, how very immediately it has kind of, helped us create leverage and operational excellence. Like we onboard around 4,000 to 5,000 partners across the country. We operate in 50 cities, different languages. There's a continuous interaction with partners who need to be onboarded onto the platform by giving them messaging. So earlier, all this was either being done by teams being hired locally, who understand the local language, the local dynamics, or it was being done by hiring people in the contact center who would know the different languages. So our tech team has, developed models where our voice bots are now interacting with our partners, and they've been trained so well that there is real-time interaction happening, just not for onboarding of partners by telling them about Urban Company, but also through their life at Urban Company. The continuous interaction that the partner needs to have. Now, instead of having it with a local team, which is sourced locally or a contact center, the AI voice bots are basically doing this interaction. And the bigger change that this has done, like everybody would say that, okay, you're doing it because you want to reduce the number of, contact center executives. The key advantage that we are getting out of this is this interaction is also throwing out a lot of knowledge and questions, the trends of questions that the partners are asking us, which the agent will not be able to tell us. The agent will just have that conversation, close his ticket, and move on to the next ticket. But the AI is actually throwing back questions to us and telling us, this is the trend of questions that your partners are asking, and you need to think about this. So it is a very, very intelligent way of conversation. So that's one. The next is obviously we also do a lot of our partners, once they get onboarded, they do not come back to our centers or offices. They all operate from homes. So how do you control quality? They are going inside homes, more than, like I said, 150,000 per day, going inside homes, operating from 30 minutes to 3 hours. And we have to control quality. We have to control service level. So therefore, we also have developed models where we are creating branded experience where, for example, a partner, before he starts his day, has to take a photograph of himself or herself. And the AI then basically approves you for the job for the day. That you're wearing the right uniform, you have the right kit bag, and there is no human intervention. The smart AI models are actually being able to make us control service delivery and maintain that operational excellence. And there are, many examples as we go, as and when these operational challenges come to us. I think the first view that the company is taking is, let's try and solve this the smarter way, the AI way. And then obviously along with AI, then also develop a very strong human layer. Like everything cannot be outsourced to AI. Otherwise, it's finally we are trying to control humans. There are partners who are going into houses. So there has to be a human layer over or below AI, like in between AI, right? So therefore, a fine balance of how AI is controlling operational excellence, what knowledge is it giving back to us, and how then we are further improving our systems. So I think it's an ongoing process, but yes, we have kind of adapted this in a very, very big way.
Thank you, Gaurav. You have set my fears at rest. I was thinking I'm going to get irrelevant. So I'm going to request Harvinder, who's working for Kyndryl, who's the world's largest IT infrastructure service provider. So Harvinder, what are your thoughts?
So, thank you very much, Paul sir. I beg your pardon, sir, you said something?
No. That is AI.
You're looking at me like this, I said you want to say something. So, it's an honor, Dominic, to be part of this wonderful panel. Thank you for the invite. And before I start, I would like to start with disclaimer. The views I'm sharing here are my personal views, not related to my company, not represent my company, Kyndryl. So, coming to how it is helping us in the physical security, if I say in my company. So, the integration of all the surveillance cameras is already covered by ma'am. So, it's very critical for us. And we are using this at our company. So, these are helping us in augmenting, helping us in identifying the patterns of the employees, detecting them if they are entering in the restricted zones, and they are sending us a real-time alerts. So, it's not only sending alerts and basis on that we are taking action. We are already ready basis on the action plan they have shared by the AI. As ma'am said, that we have to be ready before the any manual intervention. And that is very crucial. And coming to next for the access control, which are AI enabled, they detect the multiple invalid badge swiping most of the people do on the restricted zones where they don't have any access, but they're still swiping the badges. So that help us in very different ways, and also help us in avoiding the tailgating, because this formula is helping a lot for us in detecting these kind of patterns in our company, because where many employees try to do tailgate, and with the help of AI integration, we are able to mitigate at some extent. And if I coming to my core area, that is the investigation. So there was a time when entire team used to sit here to assess if suppose there's a 200-hour footage need to be reviewed, it takes almost a week time. But now with the help of AI, integration of the AI in the investigation, it has become very helpful for me especially to track the particular time period, and it give a result in a couple of minutes only with the exact the description which is given to the AI. So it is very helpful in this way. And I think I take the example if the other sectors also now these days, drones and robotic are also has to be talked here. Like there are certain areas where deployment of the security is not possible, and these deployment of drones and robotics, they are able to do patrols in those particular areas because they track and detect with the heat sensors and send the real-time alerts to the security officers and take the actions immediately in the real time. That is also.
Thank you. May I request Mahendra to speak? The company's motto is "Life is on." Over to you.
See, we are living in a world of connected products. I'd just like to share with you, a couple of years back, if you leave the office in winters, you can call your wife and say, can you switch on the geyser when I reach home and it's hot and I can take a shower, right? So it's no more, right? And if you look at it, artificial intelligence is not the futuristic tool anymore. It's a necessity, it's the fundamentals of nowadays, right? It has to be put in some basics in place for that. When I talk of connected products, right, think of how the connected products and AI can help corporate security to improve actually. Madam has rightly said that is a predictive analysis, right? She talks about training, she talks about all those things. If you look at that, how the AI going to help us in predicting the risk actually and simulate some kind of an exercise which helps actually to reduce the risk for the company. This is important. The other important part about is that when we talk of, especially because we have a session on CCTV and we're talking about it, right? Think about a school where bullying happening, where the gun shoot is happening. Luckily, we are in India, and we don't get these kind of we can't get these kind of incidents.
Something wrong with.
Can you hear? So I can speak a bit louder, no issues. So if you look at that schools, right? So schools, the most important. Yeah. Yeah. If you look at schools, actually, right? So, yeah, you can hear us. Thank you. If you look at school, right, bullying, right, and predictive behavior of a student or a kid can be seen and observed, and then the proactive action can be taken by the school. If you look at malls and all, right, there a predictive part, right, which CCTV will help, saying that a guy loitering somewhere, right, with a reason, without reason, with the face recognition, with the expression recognitions and all those things, so at least they can avoid certain kind of incident which happens in mall, right? For me, I don't know why government is not very proactive towards it. Can we use these, artificial intelligence for the women's safety when you have cameras, right? Saying that this guy is tall, this guy do this by his behavior, right, by his action, and basically take care of it. For me, the biggest challenge, as everyone was talking about it, I consider this as a game between AI versus AI, augmentative intelligence versus artificial intelligence. For us, if you look at today's world, and I'm sorry to say this, right, the skill which needed for the cyber security, which needed for the AI, right, is missing. There's a huge gap, right? When we talk of cyber security, we only think about three things: that somebody is invading you, right, and you're trying to have coming to some kind of an action where you take some remedial part of it. But there's no proactive approach which is there. There are many tools now coming up, as Madam has mentioned, saying that they do a predictive analysis, saying that this might impact, right? And we always feel, actually, this is a thought process of mankind, saying, it will never happen to me, it will happen to the next door guy, right? And this is what is basically doing it. I'm sure with the new generation, Gen Z, when I talked to them, and I was a bit surprised, saying that, they basically come up with very, very strange ideas, and the way they are using AI, I'm sure that, right, the future of usage of AI is going to improve with time, right? And with the augmentative intelligence, not limiting, saying that just give a command, right? That's not the augmentative intelligence, right? It's basically more what exactly you're looking at. And I'm sure the future is bright. And again, I'm saying that how to ensure, saying that CCTV, AI, right, used for the women's safety, for the children's safety, for the organization's safety, it's very, very important.
Thank you. Can I request Vamshi, who is the COO of DoorArk, to give you a perspective of the subject?
Yeah, just to take one step back in terms of AI, right? We were talking about AI and whether it is an option, whether it is a choice we need to implement or not implement. Typically, in the simplest terms, AI is basically transferring our intelligence to systems so that they can do our job, so that we can become more lazy, right? And basically, so that we don't have to worry about it. They do the job, and we can just relax, have a sip of coffee, tea, whatever we like, and enjoy. And these days, all the Gen Zs, this favorite that I hear is FIRE movement, financial independence, retire early, all these happening in that. So we can look forward to that kind of a future where we don't do anything and systems do it. Now, basically, that's not the job of AI. AI, when we transfer our intelligence to the systems, they don't learn at a go, right? They need input from humans, us. There are what we call false alarms in our parlance, where it's not true. It's a crowding, for example, you want to detect crowding in a scenario. But it's normal, typically in your environment, to have more people coming in between 10 to 11, for example. When the bank opens, for example. So is it still need to be flagged, reviewed by a human being? It's something that the systems learn over a period of time. And how do they learn? It's because of the human input. So the guy who's there using the system, he's not just a user, he is also a kind of a co-pilot, retraining the system, saying that this is not an anomaly, it's okay, it's a normal behavior. It's crowding, yes, but it's okay to have a crowd between morning 10 to 11, whatever. So the AI learns from the human input. So it's a collaborative effort between AI and human being. So we tell the system that, yeah, this is normal, system learns, and then how does it help us as a human being? Because it keeps me focused. The more and more real alerts come in, then I'll become more focused. Otherwise, I'll be in the deluge of all the events that keep popping up on my screen, and I can't focus on anything, and we ignore many things. So it's basically a collaborative effort between humans and the artificial intelligence. It learns because I give it input, and it helps me keep my focus. So it's not just to become lazy, but it's to keep us focused, because we have this habit of delving into too many things at the same time. And then AI is there, okay, boss, don't go there, this is more important. It prioritizes the incidents for you, and then you say, yeah, this is more important, I'll do this first. And we're good at judgment. AI is not there yet. It will become at some point, but not there yet in terms of judgment. Judgment is what we are good at. Empathy is what we are good at. So let the machines do what they are good at, which is basically the automation, the scalability, speed and scalability are where they excel, and we excel in terms of our understanding of context and our understanding of judgment. This is where we give that input, and over a period of time they will learn, and then we will see how the future goes. Today we are at this point of time trying to figure out things. We figure out a few things, we are in the process of figuring out a few things, but it's a process that continues, and these kind of sessions help us understand from different verticals, because when we work on, especially in a product development scenario, when we work on, we keep focused with only some set of parameters or options, and when we discuss with people from different verticals how they are using it, each person's perspective is different, the requirements are different, and it helps us understand, build some parts of that into our product, and make it better product.
Thank you. So, Srinivas, you are the founder and the CRO. So, what are your biggest factors which have influenced customer adoption of AI-based security solutions today?
Today. So, primarily the adoption factor is you have a distributed network and a distributed systems that are broken. So those surveillance and CCTV cameras need to be brought into single platform. That's one of the important thing. But like the other speakers are saying, it has to be a purpose-driven technology, right? It's not, technology-induced purpose. Okay, so it's not a riddle. It's basically what happens is, just implementing AI for the purpose of, sending people in terms of your use case, sending them and then taking a picture, and then that picture, need to be analyzed, and that picture has to talk back to you, right? Talk back to the systems. Like if you are driving on a road, actually the road is talking to you, right? Every signal or every symbol that is there on the roadside is actually telling you something. That's exactly how the AI has to work back with your systems. Like every learning process that the AI happens, right? That has to work back to the organization, and it has to help the organization to be more productive. So implementing the AI solution just for the sake of technology doesn't help at all. It has to have a purpose, and that purpose has to be given a value input back, and that value input becomes, and again, a process of learning to the system, and that cycle of learning and rebuilding has to happen. Like, see, what we have done in generative AI in one of the example, the entire situational awareness of the streets, all the cameras that are coming back are logging continuously what is happening on the streets. There is a stopped ambulance, there is a vehicle, stopped on the roadside, there is a person standing next to the ambulance, there is a, vehicle in front of the ambulance. All this is logged in the system. So that log has to be utilized for the learning purpose back into this again, right? So implementing or augmenting the AI, unless it actually gives you a feedback to improve your productivity, doesn't help. So all the CCTV cameras got a vision. They are watching, they are looking at, the scenarios, they are aware. If they are just like a human eye, right? They don't have brain in it. If you start putting too much of infrastructure in the edge, and those, becomes expensive, it will not serve your purpose, right? So instead of putting that intelligence in the edge, you bring that back into the, centralized, processing where the computational power is more. your opportunity of AI learning through self-aware and learning through that cycles becomes much more possibility. Once that happens, your organization is actually feeding in data of their own, learning on their own, productively increasing their productivity using the same data that has been recycled again and again and again. Like in your case, if there are 60,000 partners going into the field, they're all bringing data, right? They are bringing some kind of an information. That information, if the AI is feeding on, and if it is learning, self-aware, self-learning, and continuously going back in that cycle, you are getting that, productivity back. So, like you said, it's a long-term effort in terms of cost recovery, but the use cases are getting built on AI, many use cases. I mean, we have seen some of the very smallest of the small use case, like the sugarcane mill asked us, if there is a foreign object, like so many trucks are coming, if the side bar falls into the conveyor belt, that goes into the crusher will stop. So we have a camera already existing, can you take a feed and then do the return path, identify that, and switch off the conveyor belt. We did that. So instead of 5 hours of downtime if the crusher is stopped, and there's another use case where there's a shoe manufacturer in US, they have a problem of 2,000 people coming in, their staff, and if they remove their shoes, wear a new shoe, and go out, they lose a shoe, right? It's a very simple use case. So what we did is one camera to capture the face, one camera to capture the shoes while they get in, while they get out, do the same, and then match it up, say, this is fine, this is not fine. So there are many things that come up. These are all, may look a little bit of funny stories.
No.
Yeah.
Let us finish. Please.
So maybe look like a funny stories, but implementation of these things actually add a lot of value to the organizations. So there are a lot of connected devices, a lot of connected CCTV cameras. Every CCTV camera got a view and a vision. That vision is what our AI is analyzing.
Thank you. So Gaurav, I would like to ask
add
you this.
something on this.
One second.
I'd just like to add one thing. Japan is having now the World Trade Fair. We all know that, right? They are using amazingly the CCTV analytics, right? The moment they see that I was reading, they are having more than 10 million people visiting every day, right? And you have a reservation for that, right? You just can't walk in. The moment they see that in front of anyone, any entrance and all, if there are people or more, they automatically divert the traffic to the next gate, right? And nobody is coming there. They just put on a barricade, people are disciplined, they follow, they go there, right? So they basically do it. And I like that example of shoes actually, right? And I don't know why I'm very sorry to say that I feel bad about it, right? We can have these kind of, some kind of analysis coming up in our mandirs, gurdwaras and all those things. So at least we know saying that, the crowd is high, now we can stop and divert somewhere else. So we get rid of this, whatever the incident and accident happened. And thanks for bringing that up.
So Mahendra, now that you got the mic, just tell us a couple of more examples of real-world deployments of AI in physical security. Please go for it.
See, as a company, Schneider Electric, we are having a product called EcoStruxure, right? Which talks about, so many layers and connecting together and helping the utilities to work, basically, right? There is a very important part in that called asset management, right? That asset management runs on all the assets, right? They do a predictive analysis and tell you this product is going to be off or have some problem in next 5 days, 4 days, 2 days, or in 1 hour, right? And that tool helps actually to improve the efficiency, to reduce electricity, and to do all those kind of stuff. This is one. The other important part is that if you look at, I'm just giving a hypothetical situation and creating a scenario. For example, you have a camera, right? And as he said that, he talks about the incident which is on the conveyor belt. Think about a camera in this room and says that the ambient temperature has gone beyond the human, right? And it says that it's more than 1,000, the CO2 level, automatically switch on your HVAC and start working on that, right? So I think And most of the people, they look at those kind of value actually. And we need to create awareness among the people saying that, one camera can help you in your whole production line. For example, a camera, you need certain amount of heat, for example, 1000 degrees Celsius for a furnace, right? The moment it reaches 1100, there could be an impact on it. So start giving an alarm, and then you reset everything and make sure that you build up efficiency for that. For us, we look at camera only from the surveillance perspective. We need to look at beyond that, right? And look at that, what kind of, it can create the operation efficiency, it can increase the profitability of that customer, and it can do many things actually. So as you said that, as we develop, right, more into generative AI, right, I'm sure that we'll move towards that.
Thank you. So Gaurav, you had spoken about how AI was being used not for cutting manpower, but for improving operation excellence. How has it helped in securing your entire operations?
Before I come to that, I actually want to share what AI has done to me. Right? AI has been a humbling experience. Everybody who thought is an expert in risk management, in people management, in English, in anything, is now kind of realizing that as much as I knew, everybody else also knows. So for the longest time, the interactions I had with my team is the performance review that they wrote was not good quality, and I kept telling them, improve your communication, be expressive, write clearly, articulate clearly. So this time, our mid-year performance review just got over. And the quality of mid-year review that has come out, thanks to ChatGPT, everybody in my team has used ChatGPT, and I was just amazed at the quality of the review that's come out. And it's really a humbling experience that this is not for just leaders and professionals and experts. Everybody in this world is using it. And people are now feeling confident to express themselves. So therefore, it has such a significant impact on everybody. So I think that's the humbling experience I have had through AI, and that's why I'm getting more attracted towards it. Now coming back to Sir's question on how, so trust and safety is one important, differentiator of platform economy, and especially like ours, like our partners go inside houses, and we have no choice but to use AI to enhance trust and safety, both for the partner as well as the customer. So starting from how we do background verification, for example, the authenticity of the documents that our partners produce to get onboarded, that is Aadhaar card and PAN card, the two government IDs. There is a lot of fake IDs floating. Everybody knows it's very easy to create IDs. It's very easy if an app is asking for an ID to put a photo on top of an ID and just pass through. So there's a lot of Gen AI models that our tech teams have developed where we disqualify a lot of partners who are using, fake IDs, photo on photo, using somebody else's photo. A lot of blocked a partner, if he has got blocked for poor service or a trust and safety issue, try to come back onto the platform because they're making money using a fake ID. But then there are, face identification models where we have that you may have put a different ID, but our face recognition can recognize you. So there's a lot of trust that, as a platform, we say if we blocked a partner for a wrongdoing, we will not let you operate on the platform again. So there has to be a system that catches that. And humans will not be able to catch that. It's impossible for humans to catch that. There's so many partners moving in and out, different customers. Maybe he's going to a different customer. So, that is one area. The other sir also spoke about is, I think, women's safety. We have upwards of 20,000 women partners who go into homes, provide service. So we're also, very consciously thinking on how AI can help us secure the work environment for women when they're out in the field. And all our jobs are out in the field. It's not a secure environment of a corporate office. So very recently we've, launched this Insta Help service where you get a maid in 15 minutes. And which also opens up this use case of a woman delivering service to a home where there's only a man. Right? And so therefore a system had to be developed that the woman, when she goes into the home, she is safe, she feels safe, and during the job, she has to kind of, have a safe working environment to finish her job and get back. So therefore, the AI, we, obviously could solve it through humans. We could have, loads of, BDAs, we could have loads of ops teams and calling teams to sit there, but that's not scalable at the scale that we operate. So then there are, AI, so we've various layers of interventions of AI, particularly one on taking confirmation from the customer that they are the only male in the house. Second, when the woman goes in, she provides her confirmation on this house having a female or only a male. Then AI generated calls within the job to the service provider on if she is feeling safe while the job. And if that call, like I said, it's an intelligent call. It can change language. It can understand the tone. That call can also immediately alert our trust and safety team on, how the lady has responded. So therefore, and like this is a model which is being developed, and with every call we make, this model is going to become more intelligent. So I think we are new at it, we are learning, but we are very sure that if we have to solve safety and trust at scale, it cannot be done without AI.
Thank you, man. Thanks, Gaurav. Really heartening to hear the steps being taken by Urban Company to secure your people. So, Harvinder, I would like to ask you, what are some more of your traditional physical world security operations? How has it impacted or transformed?
Before I come to the question, I would like to add one point to Saurabh's. As he said, everybody is using ChatGPT. So I remember a small story, kind of, I think it was introduced in 2023 or 2022, ChatGPT and all. So that time was for appraisal and all. So boss asked me, okay, send me your call reports and everything, what you did in the entire year. So I was talking to my colleague, he was very much influenced by these technology and all, but I was not much aware about that time, ChatGPT and all. So I used to type everything, what I did, this, that. So he said, sir, why don't you take help from ChatGPT? So I asked him how. He just gave me a couple of tips, and I prepared the entire report and submit to my boss. Now the time came for the one-to-one discussion. So boss said, Harvinder, you're very impressed. I'm very impressed with the content you have used in this report. It's very impressive report. So I said, yes sir, entire year I was working on my content and writing. So so in 2024, Kyndryl, with this Outlook, they attached Copilot. So now the Copilot improved the language of the reverts of the mails and everything a lot. So then I talked to my boss, boss, your mail is very impressive. Yeah, I'm also working on my content role. So this is happening in everywhere, every world, but people are saying that this is very bad, but I feel this is very good for the human being because it's augmenting, it's helping in improving our skills and content in every field. So coming to your question, Paul sir, as I already explained 3-4 points, like how there are challenges in the physical security, like the major challenges in corporates we face, like the tailgating, most of the, and mostly people do swiping at the restricted areas where they don't have access. So tracking those things are very difficult in corporate world. And augmenting with the AI and AI-enabled access controls are very helpful in these days. Personally, in our organization, we are able to pull up the reports very easily that how many people have swiped on the incorrect badge, and we reach out to them and to know the reason why they did this. So then we only get to know the real reason. Earlier it was only just we consider, okay, somebody has done the swipe unintentionally, but some people do intentionally also. So it helps us in a lot to catching the right person and to get to know the exact reason, what was the reason behind this. Coming to next, in our loading zone, we were facing a lot of challenge for unidentified people sometimes. So what we did with the help of our vendor, there was a virtual line has been established there. So one day there was an alert generated due to that unidentified person just crossed that line, and immediately we identified and we asked why he did this, and we got to know he was just taking a shortcut. But with the help of this, we are able to find a black point in our organization that where blind spot is there. And we have augmented security at that particular point as well. So it's very helpful in two areas, and already I mentioned about the investigation, how it is helping me. So in day-to-day cases, we are generating reports and identifying the footage, scanning the entire footage in a couple of minutes, and bringing out the solutions. But along with this, in the previous speaker has discussed about human intervention is very important whenever we are preparing any kind of report basis on the inputs from the AI. So human loop is very important. So every decision, whichever we are taking, human intervention is mandatory, and basis on that review, the report has to be published. And these are the 3-4 major challenges we are faced in our security in our office, and which we have been rectified with the help of the AI only, be it a reader, be it a surveillance, or be it any investigations. Paul sir, over to you.
Thank you. So, Vamshi, I would like to ask you to walk me through some real-world deployment from Durak, which has happened, and what challenges did you face in deploying this? Mike, please.
Hello. Yeah, I'll probably take up an example of a hospital that we implemented down south, where we have turned passive surveillance 24/7 monitoring into AI-based, alert-based system. So it was a hospital which was bubbling, scattering to thousands of patients every day, with a lot of sensitive areas like whether it is ICU, emergency wards, pharmacies, etc., etc. So a lot of and then there are more than 700 cameras that were there across the campus. We have connected all of them from multiple brands, makes, etc. We have implemented more than about 200 analytics on top of the existing cameras. So where we Excel is utilizing the existing infrastructure and then running intelligence on top of the existing cameras instead of having to revamp your infrastructure, change the cameras, etc. So that implementation was successful, been running for over a year now, and it become a model for the region in terms of how to secure your hospital, how you can improve your operations. Like for example, it can determine or detect if there is a nurse in the nursing station in the night or not. So to that extent, or even in terms of sensitive areas, whether there is any breach, unauthorized movement in secure areas. Is there any crowding in front of the ICUs or emergency wards, especially because being a government hospital, there are a lot of times a lot of crowd comes in, especially into the emergency wards. So it can detect that, alert the security immediately, and then notify them. Most of it is useful if it is real time. Otherwise, it's not of much use. So that's where it excels. In terms of challenges that we faced, technical challenges apart, the one that is probably most underestimated, especially in a government environment, is the training of the end users and the adaptability or adoption by the users. They are used to some set of norms and understanding of working with things. And even in terms of system integrators who are not very well versed with using systems like this, that is the biggest challenge, to train the end users on how to use the system. Because as we said, AI will throw up false alarms. And how do you train, or how do you notify that, yeah, this is actually a false alarm, retrain it? We have the mechanism in the product to take that and then retrain the model. But then end of the day, the security guard has to inform that this is a false alert. And how do we train them to do that? And what is the SOP? Defining of the SOPs is very important. Okay, fine, alert came up. What do you do next? What is the process? Till now, they didn't have that worry because they never saw any alerts. They see something on the camera, maybe most of the time they don't, because after 20 minutes, how many of us can watch, can have the concentration levels to watch and observe? It's pretty difficult. So basically what happens is now it is forcing us to see the alerts, because the alerts come and at the end of the day, they see how many alerts got triggered, how many were acted upon. So you have that track of what people are doing in the command control center or your security operations center. So their activities are also tracked because the AI is throwing up alerts and they are supposed to respond or act on each of them. Whether it's a false alarm, notify it. If it's a true alarm, what was the action taken? So this forces them to do it, and it in a way, increases their work a little bit. So there is a bit of resistance on that aspect also. But that human training part in the SOCs is a bit of underestimated one, but it's a bigger challenge that we need to definitely understand and take up.
Thank you. So
I'll take just one a small example of what the real-world implementations that we have done. One of the large multi-storied complex, which got like almost 6,000 employees that are there in one single building, they had almost 22 to 23 fire exits. So when there is a drill happens, the officers doesn't know how many people exited out of all these combined doors, and if there is any obstruction in these pathways. So using the camera systems, we have done when the alert happens, then we do the count of people, head count of the people from all the 23 doors, and then analyze what was the input. The people footfall was happened all day today, and minus that if there is anybody left over, and if there is anybody left over, which floor that they have left over. So the entire cameras are getting calculated in the AI. They are getting understanding like how many entered into each floor and how many exited in all the 23 exits. End of the day, whether everybody exited or not, that we have done the analysis and then given it to them. So that's a real world where it is very critical in terms of exit paths to be monitored. Also exit paths to be kept clean without having any obstruction. If there is any obstruction, automatically the system throw an alert.
Thank you. So for the audience, we have got one more question round to go, but the food is getting cold and Dominic has told me that we will not be given food because so we'll not do that. So
I'd just like to
one sec. Let me just complete. So what you would like to do is that I would like to have those closing comments. We'll start off from Mahendra sir. Please keep it for under 2 minutes so that each of us can speak and
less than 1 minute.
Okay, over to you.
For us, the biggest problem in the selling AI is we always come and say that will reduce the manpower. This is a wrong concept. Please understand. We need to say that will add value and will optimize the manpower, right? And I think the moment you say, for example, if I'm a CEO of a company and somebody comes and say that use AI and it's cost 1 crore rupees and you will reduce 5 manpower, I say 5 into 30, 1 lakh rupees. You look at ROI, 20 years, I will never do it, right? So my request is that whenever, to a corporate security professionals, whenever you go and talk to the management, say that we'll optimize the manpower and will enhance the operation part. Thank you.
Totally. So Vamshi, the mic is close to you. Your closing comments on this interesting discussion which is happening.
Yeah, I think I agree with what sir said. Basically, it's not only just about cost cutting, it's about the value that you can bring. Most of the times the issue that we face is that security is looked at as a cost center. That perception has to change. It's not a cost center anymore. It's basically a strategic asset that you have. You have put so many cameras. You have put a lot of thought in terms of where you need coverage. And why did you think that you needed coverage there in the first instance? You have put cameras, right? You have put a lot of thought. And you have put a lot of thought in terms of how many days of storage you needed for those cameras. Some cameras important, okay, I need 90 days, some cameras 30 days. You have decided that. And why was that coverage required in the first place? What is it that you wanted the security guard to check? That is what we need to think of and then implement that through the AI. So look at it as a strategic asset that you have in place already and make the most of what you already have in place in terms of whether it is cameras, in terms of your networks. AI is there everywhere. There are basically 3 things, right? There is one text as a data format. There is one as an image, which is video or image as a data format, and there is audio. Like what Gaurav was mentioning was in terms of if identifying a distress of a woman worker, a maid coming into a house, that's audio analysis. So you either analyze audio, analyze text, analyze images or video. These are the only 3 things at this point of time and the merger of these 3. So think of what you want to do for each of your cameras that you have and then put those processes in place is what I would say.
Thank you. Harvinder, your thoughts?
So, like a person who conduct a mentoring session for the people in boot camps on ASS, so their time people ask, is AI going to replace us? So my always comment, no. But the security professionals who knows AI might.
Yes. Thank you. That's a very good
Harvinder
one.
actually said exactly what I was going to say. Just this morning, I was watching the interview of the NVIDIA CEO that Akshay Kumar took, and he asked exactly the same question, that everybody is so fearful of AI, AI will take my job, and it has gone through everybody's mind at some point of time. And he explained it so well. He said, AI will never take your job, but the man who adopts AI better is definitely taking your job. So might as well adopt it very quickly and let AI enable you to become smarter and do your work better. Yeah.
Thank you. So Srinivas, I wanted to ask you this question. So let me keep that short because food. What are those myths which people expect when they come to you for AI-enabled solution in your VMS and stuff? Myth.
That's an excellent question. Right now, lots and lots of requests that are coming up, which are very, very unrealistic. I'll give you a very small
please,
example.
please.
One of the fulfillment center, I won't name it, but they said, we have a camera outside. If one of our worker takes a small, one of the product, and if they throw it outside so that somebody else will pick up, that's a theft, right? So it's fine, we can identify, but the question was, can you identify the SKU on it?
Okay, I'm not laughing.
So, when the question somebody is putting, right, you need to understand that there is a limitation of the vision of that camera. The camera is like, what kind of a camera you put, like a 5,000 rupees camera there? Or even if it is a very high-end camera, right? So some of the things that we need to educate probably, or we need to collaborate and then make them understand that there is a lot of unrealistic things that can happen. There's another thing came up from Singapore. One of the requests was, we have a camera that is facing the apartment complex. If anybody is throwing a cigarette butt outside the balcony, can you tell which balcony it is? Right?
Okay.
So it's the initial stage of implementation of AI. So we do get those shocks,
Okay.
but we observe them, we try to educate them.
Good. We are always with you. So, so I would like to open up the things for the audience, but the food is waiting. So each of you are given, you can ask 5 questions to each of them while eating food. Otherwise the food will get wasted, it will go cold, and cold food does not taste good. The next is that one thing, what I'm going to read out is not made by ChatGPT or Gen AI or Copilot. Disclaimer first. So I'm very happy that AI can help in efficiency and not replacement. And the guy who uses it best will be standing at the end of it. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for the excellent discussion. I really appreciate the stories that the real world stories. It was educative. Thank you.